Hello. I want to talk about the key words in Triadic Philosophy. Triadic Philosophy suggests two things, is the name for two things. First, it's the name for a philosophical overview of life from an experiential point of view. It's not Wittgenstein or Nietzsche or Beuys. It's not a dense and multi-volumed thing. It is a look at some strands of thought that need to be brought together and updated and remodeled and made into a basis for moving forward. So that's one part of Triadic Philosophy, and I have the books to suggest that I've begun at least to do that. The other thing that Triadic Philosophy is, and probably the most important thing is a discipline. And it's a discipline based on key words. And I'm going to take you through the key words fairly quickly as I can. The first three key words are reality, ethics, and aesthetics. That is the key root triad. Reality meaning all, ethics meaning the values that we consciously choose to do either good or evil. Everything from loving and being free and cherishing democracy and helpfulness and so forth, to being selfish, exclusive, ganging up, and going all the way down to inflicting pain, suffering, and death. So that is what ethics is. The third thing is aesthetics. Reality, ethics, aesthetics. Why do I run that triad? Why do I make that my version of thesis, antithesis, synthesis? My trinity. Because it makes sense. Because we proceed by signs, by thinking, by what comes up within us, and that's reality. Everything is reality. And in order to function as human beings, we do need to strain our thinking through an ethical strainer, a colander. And that's what ethics is. But ethics alone is not going to solve anything. It hasn't solved anything in the past, and it's not going to solve anything in the future until we integrate, in my view, aesthetics into the basic way that we determine we will think about life. Reality, ethics, aesthetics. And aesthetics contains truth and beauty, and it aims at action and expression. So, reality, ethics, aesthetics. That's the three first key words of Triadic Philosophy. Then I include the four principal values of that second term of ethics: democracy, tolerance, and helpfulness. Those three are the active values. And by democracy, I do not mean mob rule or just rule of the majority. Although at this point I might favor rule of the majority, at least in the United States. But democracy embraces in Triadic philosophy the whole concept of rights, everything within our, for example, Bill of Rights, and everything that we have collected under the various lists of rights that to which all people should be entitled. So democracy is rights as well as a form of governance. Tolerance, helpfulness, those three values, democracy, tolerance, and helpfulness, are the active, principal, active, universal values which should guide our conscious conduct. Finally, there is a root value. It's called non-idolatry. And that non-idolatry goes all the way back to Moses, for heaven's sakes. It's basically you should have no other gods before the one who said, I am who I am, I'll be who I'll be, thank you, and no, I will not tell you who sent me other than that. In other words, to some extent it is true. We are the children of a reality for which there really is no name other than what we give to it by the way we live. That's one way of putting it. Of course, there are many people who say, well, what about Jesus? What about Buddha? What about these other religious folk that we venerate? Well, we venerate them. And in the case of Jesus, I believe that Jesus is one of the keys now to understanding the crisis facing the church, which is that the church is based upon a kind of a creed that has more or less made up this God out of whole cloth, whereas Jesus was pretty clear about the one he prayed to. He didn't call it God, he called it Abba. He called it Father. He called it something like Dad or a friend or whatever. And that is a revolution theologically in itself. So, reality, ethics, aesthetics, that's how you think. You go through that. And then when you get to that ethics part, you think about democracy, non-idolatry, tolerance, and helpfulness. Those are the key words of Triadic philosophy. Thanks.